I told my parents recently.
Oh, they
잘했어.
Oh,
which
no.
means a good like.
Oh, really? And then it's like boom, and then feel
Boom. Having dreams about it. Like,
Yeah.
I know it sounds pretty bad, but welcome to the Asian Soup Podcast. This is your co-host Jules.
And this is your co-host Rox.
The Asian Soup Podcast is your safe space on the internet where we share and discover real stories.
We chat about a range of topics from health to relationships, career, and much more.
Come sit with us and get nourished.
Yay!
Yay! Well, speaking of Asian soups, Rox, have you had any Asian soup recently?
It's actually been a couple of weeks since I've had an Asian soup, which is very not Asian of me. But my last one was at my parents' place. My dad made watercress, Chinese watercress and pork bone soup with carrot and fish maw. So in Cantonese, it's called Say and Chai Tong, which was actually some of our listeners' favorites. So it was good. How about you?
I've never had that soup before.
I'll try to make it for you one day.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Well, the most recent Asian soup that I had is the same soup that I mentioned last time, which is 된장찌개. I had it yesterday at my cousin's place. She made it, and it was cool because she made it a little bit differently to how I make it. She put beef in there, which is a bit different, and enoki mushrooms. So I was like, it's interesting to see how like different families, even though it's your cousin, make the same soup, but in a different way.
Yeah.
Well, this topic that we're talking about today, you would already know because you clicked it, is going to be about anxiety. I'm actually like really excited to talk about this topic because it's a meaningful one, especially to me. Like just recently I did feel a bit of anxiety. And so this episode, I think I will talk about some of the steps that I took to overcome the anxiety, but also, you know, for my future self, when I watch this again, or when I do feel anxiety again, because I don't think I could ever say, I'm going to overcome it, because once I did say I overcame it, but it came back. So for my future self, this is like for you.
Oh, so we're really doing it for you,
for
future
me?
Julia.
Thanks,
but also for myself, I think. I think it's an interesting topic to learn more about, and everyone experiences it on different levels, even if you might not know it. So I think it's important.
Well, I guess like the first thing I would like to ask you, Rox, is how does, have you experienced anxiety, and how does it feel like for you?
So for me, it's a bit weird because I've only recently started to associate some experiences with anxiety. I think maybe like a lot of people, I would consider it or a certain freak out. I would call it a freak out, or I was super stressed, or I just kind of exploded, or something like that. And then it's only recently because, mental health is such an important topic, and anxiety and all this is being more normalized, which is a good thing. So we're more open to talking about it, that I've realized like, oh, okay, that I was anxious. That feeling of anxiousness is anxiety, right? It doesn't mean like something super, super bad. I don't know how to say it. Like I feel like back in the day, mental health had such a negative connotation, but actually so many people go through it. It's just that we don't talk about it enough. And now that we're here and we're able to talk about it, I think it's a lot better to kind of let it out. So I'm still like learning what's actually stress, or what's anxiety, or what's, just being negative or being down. Like, I don't know. It's just good to kind of learn or process what those feelings are. Yeah. How about you? What is your kind of journey like?
For me, anxiety is something that I don't know if I had it, like I wasn't really aware of it in my younger years. It's something that's become more obvious to me in my adult years. I think for me, it's like certain, I wouldn't call them episodes, but it'll be like moments in my life where I thought, oh, this doesn't feel like, I think this, I don't, it actually the first time I kind of had it was more like, I don't know what it is. I'm just really upset and feeling overwhelmed, but I didn't really call it anything like you. But now, like, I just call it anxiety.
Yeah.
And I know I have, I guess, more of an awareness when it's here, or even when it's like almost about to come. I'm like, I'm starting to see like patterns as well, like before, which I could talk about a little bit later. But yeah, for me, I think I can feel a little bit of anxiety. Like I don't really get it so much like before like presentations or anything. Like I would just definitely feel nervous and you get jittery. But like for me, anxiety is more like a negative thoughts, overthinking, some when it's bad, maybe lose sleep, wake up feeling uneasy, having dreams about it. Like I know it sounds pretty bad, but that's how it is for me. And it is pretty like hard going through it. So that's why it's important to have strategies put in place so that when you are experiencing it, you know, or kind of know what to do. So that's how it feels like for me. Or like some obvious symptoms for me is like I lose my appetite.
Oh wow. That's bad.
That's bad. I just lose my appetite. I stop drinking coffee.
How can you stop drinking coffee?
Yeah, because I'm so anxious and I feel like if I drink the coffee, I will
too jittery and
So maybe you don't feel anxiety, because this is what it feels like for me, and it's pretty like they're pretty strong feelings. And it's hard when you're in it, but when you're out of it, you're like, oh, thank God I'm out of it.
I think we definitely have different experiences of it. Like I think even now, because I'm just starting to associate it more with that term, like for me it might be a social event that I'm not feeling myself, and I don't know many people. I'm like, oh my God, like there's been a time where I pretty much ran to the bathroom and had to like hide for a while because I was just I just was really self-conscious and freaking out. Like I don't know what I was doing, and I had to just go to the bathroom and have a moment because I didn't know how to face people.
Would you say that's like a panic attack?
I don't know. Maybe. See, I don't know how to tell the difference. But then there's other times where I've associated it with a period of burnout I've had previously in life, and I feel like those feelings do come, and just feeling anxious all the time every day, that there's so much work to do or things I haven't ticked off. I don't have time for anything. Don't have time to even think about it. And it just kind of, it's like that. And it feels like I can't get out of it. But I don't know if that's just stress or I don't know. I feel like I don't have the answers sometimes.
I feel like that is a bit of anxiety. Like when you, like that burnout period that you had. From what it sounds like to me when you talked about it previously, like to me, it did sound like, you did have anxiety, like you used to stay up till late.
I just would, overthink like you. I would have dreams about it, like work, or I think I overthought certain work relationships and built up my own tension like inside and thought, maybe I'm not doing a good job. Or, you
also said that you realized you clenched your jaw.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this happened. I feel like this didn't happen when I was younger. And my jaw, it's always very, actually recently it's not as bad because I'm more conscious of relaxing it. But then I'd just be typing like on the computer all day and then realize like, oh wow, it's like really locked. Not locked, but like it feels like that inside.
Yeah, I think I get that too. I get like a tight jaw, so sometimes I'll just have to like, you know, go
Yeah, I think there's maybe exercises you can do.
Yeah, on face yoga. It's a thing.
So I guess the next question is about any triggers. Like, do you think there's triggers to your anxiety, or have you learned or dug deep around what causes it for you?
Yeah, I think it's something that I've been working on very hard to figure out what is like my trigger. For me, I think it is when it's always like to do with relationships, like with other people, which is related to our
last episode.
No, not last episode. Episode
2 episodes ago.
Fourth episode or fifth episode. Fifth episode about relationships. If there's like a moment where I feel like I've let someone down, so maybe by making a mistake, or if I feel like I did them wrong, then, and I feel like it's something really, really like unforgivable, I feel like such an idiot, then that really like gets me. Yeah.
So mainly around relationships and letting someone down or doing something wrong.
Yeah, like really inconveniencing them, or
causing them to
be upset or something like that.
Okay.
So I guess it's like, just upsetting them.
Yeah.
But not just
Don't
upsetting
upset
them.
me.
Joking.
Oh my God, it's so scary.
Oh, you scared me. That was so loud. Yeah, so those are the sort of things. But I'm sure there's more. I'm still figuring it out, but they seem to be quite a common pattern for me.
Okay.
Yeah. Does that help? Do you have triggers, and is it relatable to you?
I feel like I'm still trying to figure it out, but for me, I think it's definitely maybe some kind of negative situation or negative thought of mine, and then added with an insecurity that I have about something, and then it's like boom, and then something like I might feel like something really anxious or tense or stressed or worried, and then I'll go into like, you know, a hole and be like, oh, you know, just thinking all this stuff and it's not useful.
Yeah, just, you know, a hole.
Yeah, just a
No
hole.
biggie.
Just that and a hole. And then or like I said, the example before, or it might be a social situation or a situation where I really do not feel physically comfortable in, or just the surroundings that I'm in, or I don't feel like I'm in my comfort zone, like physically, then I feel, I just need to get out. And I'd rather not be in that. Nowadays, I feel like I'm saying no to certain social situations, which might not even be healthy. But then I had a friend who was like, maybe you just don't want to do it and it's okay. And then maybe it is okay. I don't know. But then some, you know, people are like, oh, you should try things out of your comfort zone. But I don't know. Some things I'm just like, nah, I don't want to do that. Because I know I can preempt, like, I know how I'm going to feel in that situation if I go to this thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to have to like really pump myself up for it. And by the time I even pump myself up for it, if I'm there, I'm still going to probably feel like shit. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah. And the weekends are so precious. Like you need to do things that like fulfill you up and like energize
I just want to
you.
be happy.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to be not even happy. Like I just want to be not too stressed.
Yeah.
So, any, you know, but obviously there's some situation where you have to go.
Yeah. You have to come to my party.
Yeah. Or it might be like a social work thing and, you know, you just need to try. But if it's something within my control or I don't know. Obviously, there's things that I'll go to, but yeah, it just depends.
Yeah. I feel It's
Yeah.
hard to find
It's
the
hard
right
to,
balance.
It's hard to
Yeah.
see like what do I actually not want to do, or
Yeah.
versus what is actually gonna cause me a lot of stress.
Yeah. You gotta like decide. Is like, do I want to fight for this one or flight? Like,
is it worth that risk?
Yeah.
Of that feeling.
Yeah.
Because I don't want it.
Yeah. Who does?
No. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, just speaking of anxiety, we just wanted to share some common things that we found helpful to help us kind of navigate anxiety or kind of cope with these situations, whether during or after, or kind of what helps us to get through these kind of situations or times.
Yeah. So I think the first one is self-care. Self-care is so important.
Yeah.
It's so important. A lot of the times I feel like when anxiety has come, or even like a stressful time has come, or you're feeling overwhelmed, most of the time I haven't been practicing self-care. I've completely neglected it. It could be anything. It could even be like not drinking water properly, like basic human stuff, guys. Like not drinking water, sleep, even maybe like hygiene, eating good food regularly.
Don't eat at weird times. Don't eat at 11 at night, and don't eat.
So strict.
It's a thing.
Or even like the diet, like what you're filling your body up with. Like normally, if I haven't ticked those ones off well, I'm asking for trouble. I'm asking for anxiety to come to me. So that would be the first thing. Like when I am feeling overwhelmed and feeling anxious, the first thing will be like doing self-care, but really easy things. I'm not even talking about like go for runs and like start with
basic
like baby
exercise
steps.
doesn't even hit this yet, but it will. But really basic.
Yeah. So when I'm feeling like anxious, it has to be like really easy stuff, like taking a bath. Drinking tea.
Washing my face properly.
Doing a face mask. Even like getting your nails done. Like I don't really get my nails done, but if you see my nails done, it means like I wanted to like treat myself or something.
I'm trying.
And do some self-care, practice some self-care. Even like cutting my hair, like or things like a good one is like getting someone else to do things for you. Like if you have the means to like get a massage or something like that. Or even just doing gua sha on yourself, like whatever, like anything that makes you feel pampered and
taking care of
like I think that works for me. I mean, not works for me, but like that is what self-care is for me. So that would be the first thing I do.
And I think what's interesting is that what you link that back to is setting that and keeping that in your routine, so then you're actually doing those things every day, right? So every day I feel like shower time is like a great time. I'm always it's like sometimes it's like you're so busy and you're dreading it, but actually working those little self-care things into your routine, like drinking water, drinking enough water, eating fruit or whatever it might be,
even like going for like a small walk. There's a quote that was like really stuck to me, was like the devil hates fresh air or something like that.
God, that's so scary. What devil? It's nighttime here.
I mean, anxiety. Sorry. The anxiety doesn't like fresh air. And I thought, damn, that's so like
that's so true. Open the windows.
Breathe. Go for a walk.
So I wanted to skip over our second one and skip to, actually, this is our next one, reflect. So our second thing to cope is to reflect. And why I had a little tangent there was this to me was like to breathe and take a moment to sit with whatever it is that is freaking you out or you're anxious about, and reflect on what's actually happening. Why are you even feeling like this? Just take a moment for yourself and think about what is actually happening. Is it really even this bad? What is the situation? Try to be rational. And reflect on, is this just a moment that I need to breathe through and kind of ride over?
Yeah.
Or is it something is there something I can do? And maybe that something could be taking a shower and breathing.
Yeah,
and
honestly, shower's the best one. Just
Yeah.
get in the
Get
shower.
in the shower.
Like, even if you just had a shower in the morning, just do a second
Have
one.
another shower.
Like, seriously, it helps.
It really helps. But yeah, just taking the time to kind of process what you're actually going through. What about you in terms of reflect?
Yeah, so for me, when I'm reflecting, I do it like I could go on a really long walk and try and like process my feelings and like, or even, I was going to say go for a run, but I don't. I only did that once today.
Still.
I did that today,
Yeah.
first like run in ages. But the best option like for me is to write it down.
Yeah.
So I have a journal and I always try and write it all out, do a purge onto paper.
Yeah.
Just get like, that's what my psychologist says.
It all out. Yeah.
Which we'll talk about later. But she said like, just vomit it out onto the paper and just see what comes out. Just let it all out because you need an outlet.
Yeah.
You can't just leave it in there and become like, you're going to explode and it's going to manifest into something weird later or to the wrong person, like to someone else later. So yeah, definitely get it all out and just write your stream of consciousness out and just keep doing that. So
that's a great tip.
Yeah. So even one thing that I was struggling with, like I normally sleep really, really well. I think only like a few times in my life, like I don't sleep well. And yeah, so there was like recently I was sort of like, no, not recently, but there was a time where I couldn't really sleep. And I just kept overthinking in my bed. And I was like, oh my God, like this is kind of like newish to me. And like, I don't know what to do. And I need to like function the next day. But basically like, if you can't sleep in your bed, they say that get out of your bed and just write it out. Or like, if you feel like if you want to experience that again, write it out and then go into bed. Like you don't want to carry your negative thoughts and feelings into your bed because then your bed becomes not a place of rest and sleep. You associate it as a place where you overthink. So it becomes like a pattern.
Then you can't sleep.
So if you're overthinking, roll out of bed, get out of there and get those negative feelings out somewhere else and then come back to bed when you're like ready. So that was a pretty good tip. So yeah, I would say like write it all out and
whether it be like digital, it doesn't have to be like pen and paper.
I think pen and paper is
nice.
best, I think, especially if you're on the computer a lot. It's amazing what a bit of pen and paper can do.
So true. I feel like I only did that. Oh, actually, I did that a few years ago and then I haven't done it in a long time. So it's a good reminder. So hopefully when we revisit this topic in the future, let's see where we grow then. Yeah. Hopefully I've learned a few more things. Cool. Anything else to reflect?
So it's great to like reflect and try and figure it out yourself and write it out. In your instance, like have a shower or like really think through it. Yeah. But the really next step that's absolutely crucial, I think, is to talk to someone about it.
Yeah. I definitely share so much. Thank you, friends. Thank you, the friends in my life, like, and to you now. You're my friend now. It helps so much to let it out to someone you trust. Who might not necessarily be going through the same thing, but can empathize and can listen, and they're just listening and hearing you out. And they might not be able to help you. They probably can't help you. But they help you by listening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so
enough. That's
Yeah.
so helpful.
Yeah, you couldn't have said it any better. Like seriously.
But sometimes they actually help you too.
Yeah, sometimes they do come up with like really good
Yeah.
practical advice.
Yeah.
But that's like special.
Yeah.
That's really like, whoa.
Depends on the situation.
Yeah. But honestly, all you really need is like just to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
And someone to just say, I hear you.
Yeah.
Like that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which you're really good at, by the way. Rox has been
Thanks.
like my friend that I've been reaching out to, like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It just helps, doesn't it? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, not to listen.
It feels like,
yeah.
load is lifted off and
Yeah.
you've shared it with someone, it's out in the world. Like,
Yeah.
I think for me, that's why I've not been very good at writing, journaling. Like, I always have someone I can talk to. And like, but it's also not good because like I need to reflect on it, on myself more, to learn more about the why.
Yeah.
And to dig deeper in myself. But I think, talking to someone is so helpful.
Yeah. And it could be your friends.
Mm-hmm.
It could even be your family. It could even be your dog. I don't know.
Yeah.
But something that's important to mention is like the person that you're talking to, they need to have the capacity as well to be there for you and to hear you out.
Yeah. Because
That's
they might
so
be going
important.
through their own thing and not able to, like, it's hard to expect it sometimes.
Yeah.
Because people don't always understand the same stuff.
Or they just have
they're
their
too busy
own
to
plate,
yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's super important. I think
Yeah.
like making sure that they have the capacity, or even if you can't really make sure, but like
just be respect, like, because sometimes when you're in that moment,
yes,
you're relying on this person.
yes,
But this person, you just remember that this person might be going through something too,
as well,
and they might not be able to support you fully that when you need it, but they might also need you.
Yeah.
Right? But it's hard to think that when you're in
yeah.
it. Yeah.
So I guess like just reach out anyway, like hey, like are you can ask like
how are you,
or like can we like
do you have some time
or something like that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
start with a question, although I don't really do that to you, Rox.
Just like what? Tell me. Yeah.
Yeah, but it is really important, and that's why having a psychologist or like a professional to help you is so, I wouldn't say underrated, but like it's so good to have. Like having a professional that you can, you know, just dump your thoughts to them, and they can give you an outsider, like professional opinion, and it's sometimes really good to hear it out. So that's something I would highly recommend. I only started seeing a psychologist this year, early this year. It's something that I've been telling myself like I wanted to do, and I finally like did it this year. And I've been to like a few sessions, I guess, and it just recently restarted because you're paying someone to listen to you, and even though like I don't know, it's just only done good for me, and it's also helped me become a better friend as well. Because I'm not only like always going like relying on my friends to like talk it out. I would sort of work it with my psychologist and then share my learnings with my friends. I think that's like quite valuable as well, although it is good to have, you know, someone to talk to when things are tough as well. But it is just really nice to have the third person to talk to. And it also helps you give better advice and be a better listener to your friends when they're in trouble as well.
I think it's just like, it sounds like a great way to learn more about yourself and how to, you know, navigate just life in general, right? So I'm really impressed that you took that step.
It's the ultimate.
And you're here to talk about it as well, because some people might not talk about it, or they feel like, oh, I shouldn't share it. Do you know what I mean? Like there's still a bit of that.
Well, I told my parents recently.
You didn't tell them before?
Because like I told them like, hey,
was it a big deal?
I went to see a psychologist. And they said, oh, 잘했어.
What does that mean?
Which means, oh, good, like.
Oh, really?
And I was like, what? I think like when I said like, oh, I need to go see one, they would say like, you don't need one. But then when I told them I already went, they were like, oh, good. It's good that, you need it or something like that.
That's really nice that they
I was,
said that, right?
yeah, I thought that was quite cool of them.
Yeah. That's pretty cool for an Asian parent to be like, pretty cool.
I don't know.
Yeah, they're supportive.
Yeah,
right?
they were
Yeah,
supportive,
that's good.
which was nice.
Yeah.
But I don't expect all Asian parents to be like that.
Yeah, me.
But the thing is, you don't have to tell them.
Yeah,
You don't have to tell them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, highly encourage it. And it's just, it's definitely recommended. Especially with if you go to your GP, you get like, you can go on a mental health plan and then you get like 6 sessions like covered. Not fully covered, but you get like $80 back, which is pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And also with telehealth, you can do it over obviously the phone or a Zoom call, which makes it very accessible. Like you can do it from anywhere, even your
so this
comfort
is
of your home.
pretty good like just healthcare. Like this is just Medicare in Australia, right? Like that's pretty good way to start it if you're not sure where to go. Like it's a good kind of general tip.
Yeah, for sure.
It's accessible, so yeah, that's important.
Cool. So yeah, we've talked about reflecting and self-care, speaking to someone, and lastly I think I guess like the last one will be, I'd say like, or we'd say just to focus on like the positives and also your strengths, whatever that may be.
Yeah,
things that build you confidence.
So this reminds us of our old episode about confidence again.
Yeah, episode 2, 3.
But definitely, it's like having a general, very achievable checklist of, did I shower today? Did I drink water today? Like just little things that you're like, yes, I did that, or yes, I'm good at that, or if you, I don't know, if you want to go on a walk, or if you like watching YouTube videos in your spare time, I don't know, just focus on stuff that makes you happy.
Yeah.
That's a really easy win. Like maybe if you feel like some chocolate, eat some chocolate. Because if you feel like cake, eat some cake. Don't eat 10 cakes or like crazy, don't binge, but you're allowed to just do those little things that make you happy and bring you some kind of that make you happy. That's one, I think. And then the other thing is doing things that make you more confident, or focusing on things that you're good at, because then you have more good things to think about. But I'm like trying to think what things I do that I'm confident about. But do you have any examples?
I think for me, I realized like I really like music, and playing some music always helps. But when we're talking about strengths, like even trying to like play the piano a little bit and like singing or something like that, it's something so small, but knowing that I can create like this sound and music, it doesn't sound like amazing or anything, but like that gives me a little bit of confidence. Like even like cool. Recording it, I might never play it again, but it's just like, I don't know, just something that personally brings me joy. And it's because I'm always like on my computer and everything so digital, like with this podcast and all the other projects, it's like, it's just nice to do something like not digital. And another, like for me also, like focusing on really trying to focus on my strengths, like really trying to just write them down, even writing them down, like what is it. It's so easy to pinpoint like what you're not good at, but really just honing on your strengths and celebrating them and feeling proud. Reminding yourself and telling yourself like, this
you are good enough.
This
like,
is what I'm good at.
Love it. One other random thing that I like to do, but I don't know if this is part of self-care or doing something you just makes you happy, is like I like I don't know, just watering my plants or taking care of my plants. I feel like that is something very simple. And then you realize, like, you know, wow, nature's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Like just simplifying what is happening and being like, oh wow, you know, you're spending time taking care of something. But I guess I don't have a dog, but yeah, and watching something grow, like it could be, it's so typical, but yeah, it makes me happy.
Yeah.
And having more greenery, I think, is healthy for the mind.
Yeah.
You might not notice it, but I think it is.
Like surrounding yourself with things that you love, right?
Yeah.
Especially in your home, because if you're in there a lot, put some green in there. Like, put some life in there. Like, for me, it's cooking is one.
Yeah.
Which is something you can also do at home, and it's something that I realize, like, is actually a strength of mine, but I don't do it enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something that I think I want to keep going at and revisiting because I love cooking. You're good at cooking.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
I loved your salmon head
cook
soup.
More. Yeah, I like cooking too.
I think we didn't I think we mentioned 4 things, but I do want to like add in a 5th one.
Do it.
So I was watching like this video by Phan.
Oh, okay. Which one? I watched one recently too.
Oh, is it
Friendsgiving?
No. Anti-work.
Oh, I didn't watch it.
Okay, watch it.
Okay.
I freaking love her. She's the best. Don't you reckon?
She's like gone to another level, I feel.
She's transcended into like another.
She was already OG YouTube makeup.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And now she's just like living the best life. Like, but she's so inspirational.
She's so wise.
Yeah, she's so wise. But she was always wise.
She was, but she's
next level wise.
Next level,
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
okay, tell me more.
One thing that she said is like, if you're going through like a rough time or like anything like that, the biggest takeaway was like, she said, focus on like what you're learning. Like, what is the learning here? What is this like lesson that you're learning here? So even with like anxiety, right? Or you're going through a stressful time or something really, really bad. I know it's really hard, but like if life, like, this is what Will Smith said, like if he said like if you're experiencing like something really, really hard or something like that, I'm so butchering it. Yeah. It's like some life lesson, right?
Yeah.
It's so corny.
I'm eating cake.
It's so corny.
Yeah, what did he say?
But yeah, that's what he said. Like, it's a life lesson. Because if it is that hard for you, there's a lesson there for you to learn. Like, why is it so hard, or whatever it is. And I think that's so true. Like, whatever it is. So that would be my 5th one. Like, to think about like what you can learn from this experience. Like, what did you learn about yourself? Yeah, rather than like forgetting about it, deleting it, moving on to the next thing. Yeah. It's important, I think, to have that moment and try and figure out, like, life is a school.
Yeah.
So
it
corny,
is. Life is a school. And you know, these experiences are shaping you, not defining you, but shaping you and how you understand and experience life on this lifetime, this earth, or whatever. Like, so yeah, and it will pass, right? Like, it will pass. You'll get it. You'll work through it, and you'll just be even stronger.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll be as wise as Michelle Phan one day. Maybe not as rich, but
adopt me, Michelle.
Yeah.
That was a really interesting episode.
No, yeah.
I'm glad that we got to
share touch on it.
I got to hear a little bit more about your experiences.
Yeah, me too.
I'm keen to hear like how your but like how your understanding of yourself and anxiety and
working through
all that, like how that evolves over time. I'd love to hear your learnings.
I know. Let's see, 2023 maybe. Yeah. Next year. I don't know if it's a good way to start the year, but I think it's important to talk about. And we hope that, I hope that more people can open up to each other about it. It's not so, it is scary when you're in it, but then it's not so scary if you can share it with someone you trust or get professional help. It's nothing to be ashamed of, and we're all human. It's a very natural human experience, and we can get through it. And there's resources to get help if you don't know how.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Follow us on Instagram, Spotify.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
At Asian Soup Podcast. Subscribe.
You can follow Rox at
Roxanne Chan.
And for
with
me,
one N.
For me, it's Julia Kim Films.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.